now. So that is great. Something just flashed. So it looks like Pinakee Naik is scheduled at 7 o'clock. It's 7. So we're going to go share screen presentation. We'll sit here with Pinakee Naik. Hopefully he's not watching us at the moment. And here we go. This, you can't pay for this type of entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
Things here after my 1,200-kilometer road trip on the weekend.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my goodness! Road trip.
Yeah, that's nothing over here.
Oh, and D as well. Can't pay for this.
It's one province over. That's all.
Just a province.
All right. So what are we going to learn here today? I hope.
Well, as usual, we're just waiting for people to jump on board.
Let's make sure we have some people on board for them, eh?
How's the weather where everybody is? 30 degrees in the UK.
Let's see if he knows.
Celsius here. 37.
Yep.
We're
yeah, I know you're looking at the same thing I'm looking at.
Can you see the waiting room, Pinakee?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we've definitely got someone in our group giving out our link. Crazy.
Yes.
For anyone who knows him, we've got Danny DeHex sitting in my waiting room.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
I don't want to hear that name.
No.
No,
that man's an absolute nutcase.
Don't worry, he's not coming in.
Okay.
No. We can speak to him though, can't we? We can message him.
Yeah.
Tracy's in here as well.
No, better not. Oh yeah.
And Sam Lee, wow, we're popular tonight then.
Yeah, nah. It's another fake account.
Yeah, of course it is.
You're not sure though, are you?
Time to change the call link.
Yeah.
Because yours restricted to New Zealand.
I had done, but he'll have found a way around it, or I'll have to check my settings. I had,
Yes.
yeah, we better sort ourselves. I like that.
I sent him a nice message. Just
you know what's the beauty of
Yeah.
our calls? Everybody knows
Exactly.
everybody.
Hey.
Excellent, my friend. So good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you. Thank you for what both of you are doing for us.
Hey, you can say Danny piss off.
Yes.
Oh, it's lovely to see you, Tracy.
Hello. Clear history. Hello, something's wrong with the audio there. Can you guys hear it, I hope? I don't know what's wrong with the audio there. Oh, we're back. I think it's just them.
Are we ready to make a start pin, or is there someone you waiting for?
And I'm just removing.
Taking out the trash.
Yeah, taking out the garbage.
That person who on our other call, I'm pretty sure they got themselves back in by calling themselves Danielle. And I knew that Danielle didn't belong. You know, because we just know our people by now.
Yes.
Oh, do you? So that's a good thing to do. So we'll just take a list of those people.
Well, he's obviously run out of garbage to spill because
just take a list of your
I'm
people.
actually going to. Do we lock the room?
Good idea.
Yeah.
View.
Well, there's some people we do know. And there's some names that are coming up just never heard of at all.
Yeah.
Might not be here for too long, guys. But anyway, we have names now. What have we got there?
What I find the most upsetting is
Yeah.
that it's someone among us who's giving our links out,
yeah.
because your link the other day is completely different to my link today.
Yes.
You know.
Don't forget, the shadow has got no life, so he's got to come and chase the next big thing. Otherwise, he runs out of stories.
Mm.
Here you go.
And his life doesn't move any further.
No, exactly.
Now I've got 2 connections. You idiots.
Who's this? Oh, yes, I just received.
All right.
I've just muted that person.
All right.
Oh, it's happy families.
I've actually started moving people to the waiting room if their cameras aren't on. And even that's not the solution, but you have to try everything you can, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I mean, we're not doing anything wrong, but it's the fact that this guy, he live streams you on YouTube, and nothing he ever says contains a fact. If you watch one of his videos,
your IQ, doesn't
he knows less than I do about some of the
That's
things
not
he's
a hell of a lot,
talking about.
really, is it?
And it's very, well, I don't know if it's brave or, well, it's stupid
Stupid.
to go saying things that you've no idea about.
It's like when Pinakee used to
not
market,
based on any facts.
and that's now a big scam.
Right.
Me, if I'm going to talk about something, I make
Like
sure I know what
Hyperverse,
I'm talking about first.
True.
How did Hyperverse work out for you, Dee?
There's quite a few names that we don't know, but then there are a lot of Elvis. Have you invited a lot of people?
Right, I might butcher this. Elvis, if you're listening, is it
Yes.
Bola Joko?
Elvis is here. I have a lot of people from my community joining from Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does this sound like? Is that a name you know? Yeah, we've let that one in.
Bay, B-A-E.
See if we can get a few more, and just in case we lose a few along the way, eh, kids? Just make sure I've got a few in there.
Has Rob gone out and then come back in, or is he in 2 different?
Bay is someone I know.
Oh, okay.
Perfect. Perfect.
There are a lot of them. Over people joining.
Right.
Yeah.
Please
That's
mute
how
that
you,
mic, please. Mute your mic, please.
That's how you youngest man.
The mic is up. Something you should be doing. We're on a Zoom call.
Okay.
We could pop.
Know who you are. I know what you never. What I you're going down, Pinakee. Set of skills. To see a living nightmare for fraud like you.
I don't know who that was.
If you return the investments now, that will be the end of it.
It was funny. It sounded like he was falling off a cliff.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, she's trying to remove me. That one. That's scary. Anyway. Out of the room.
But that one person, just the phone number. Obviously, they need to have a name. Right, shall we get started?
Yes.
I'll get this down back in a
There
second.
we go. Right, welcome everyone to the call.
Might be a second.
Of the world. Not talking about the people on the call, but there's some people who've got nothing better to do than try and find dirt where there isn't any. But there you go, that's life.
DAOversal.
There's always some shitty people in life. So anyway, MarsVerse, what is it all about? What does colonialism got to do with MarsVerse? What is M3?
Oh my God, MarsVerse. Is this like DAOversal?
Let's go through all the slides and get a good idea of what this is all about. So first thing we all need to know is, where did money flow? Money is like water. It flows. It finds a way to go. It doesn't matter what happens. It finds the next place where it needs to move to, just like water does.
Hopefully you can hear this okay.
In the beginning, in the 80s, land and property was the big thing. Everybody was pouring money into property. If you did. Sometimes 20 years later, the internet was born.
Hopefully you can hear this. If anyone
Google,
wants to
Amazon.
use the chat room to tell me.
And at the
that'd be good.
time, we thought, nah, who's going to shop online? Everybody's happy going to the shops. But then guess what? That changed
Guess
too.
what?
And we probably missed out on that trend.
Pinakee.
So these are all trends. So it took 20 years to get to that trend. The next trend was probably a much bigger trend, which was the Bitcoin trend. That happened in 2009 after the financial crash.
Yeah, we've got sound. That's good.
So Bitcoin came along. Ethereum then sort of expanded on that. That trend sort of like moved us for the next 6 years. That was the talked about topic. The future trend now is Web3. And it's not just Web3 based on people who are on the internet surfing and talking on Facebook and things like that. It's actually a lot more than that. It's large companies are now seeing the benefit of Web3. And that's testament to the first deal that M3 have done. So this is the next trend. And guess what? Now online you can get wallets, exchanges, decentralized finance. You can do all sorts of things based on this industry. So the internet is moving along. Like I said, GameFi, SocialFi, NFTs. NFTs are a huge industry which hasn't even been tapped into. So the first part of the internet was with Bitcoin, and that came along. And that was what I would call layer one. Layer one was slower, wasn't as fast, it was clunky. Because don't forget, after time, what happened was the internet, people realized that a lot more people were using the whole crypto industry and things like now layer 2 and 4, which is basically a layer, which speeds things up, I suppose, and it's cheaper. So that's really where the well, the first step is, in the beginning, the first 3 months was all about intelligence.
I'm going to go back to
nothing. That's still right. It's one big possible trend that is going somewhere. Makes a difference to the in this industry.
I know, Pinakee Naik. I'm just going to flood his chat room in a minute.
So M3 consists of 3 parts: MarsVerse, Mars Chain, and Mars Protocol.
3 connections open.
First, there's MarsVerse, which is the DAO. And a DAO is basically allows every single member
Hopefully you guys can hear. I'll
vote
just turn
on all sorts of things like
yep. So we're all
when we
good.
list on an exchange,
Righty.
any developments or anything that big changes that are happening. That's why when you have a DAO, you don't actually need a CEO or a CIO or anybody. All you need is people who can vote, because everybody has the choice to vote on all the different things that are going on. And this is where the company are doing their job, the team at the top. And we would have the information and we could vote on that information. But how do you get in? You need an avatar. And the avatar is your access to this platform. What the company does is it aggregates the fact that whole community has grown quite a lot in the past 6-7 weeks. And it's growing at a rapid pace, all because of what they're doing. Now, that means that they can, and what aggregation is think of booking.com, for example. They don't actually own any hotels. But what they do is they aggregate all the different hotels and find the cheapest and the best deal. So Mars Protocol, where they launch new projects and new ventures, because they are venture capitalists as well.
Flooding the
use the fact that the community are
uh-oh. We've lost
there. But guess what? To do all of this, you need your own chain. So
uh-oh. I think he's put it back. We'll just get the sound going for you again. 1 second, please, caller. Hopefully you have this out.
Normally you have to do KYC on very many industries, and you think, well, hang on a minute. What's the point of that? If I do just one, if I had an app where I could upload all my KYC, do all my ID verification, address verification, biometrics, all I need is a block. So that's the way this is going. So it's one person, one account. MCD token is what they're going to launch on the 23rd of September. Now we have a date. So here's just a very simple explanation of decentralized ID. So when you log into Zoom and you think, oh, I really can't be bothered to think of another password. And you think, oh, you know what? I'll just sign in with my Apple ID. Well, guess what? Here's the thing. For ease of use, you think it's great. But Zoom are paying Apple for the fact that they're selling your data to them, your information. So now
check out the chat room.
What's happening is you are now a commodity. Your information is worth something. So if you look at Facebook, Google, etc., they've all got billions of users. How many of them are real? How many Google accounts do you have? How many Facebook accounts do you have?
Yeah.
But each one of these accounts is data worth $600 per person or per account to Google and Facebook. But when you look at just one person, you think, oh, it's only $600. But it's not. It's actually more than that. When you think about it, when it's billions of users, you're talking billions of dollars. So we're talking serious amounts. And why should your data be sold? You know, if you look for a jog on Facebook, next thing you know, there's jogs being advertised everywhere. That's your data being sold by companies. So here's a quick comparison of decentralized ID as compared to what we are in today. So centralized,
going for you, Pinakee?
Apple, Google, Facebook, they're centralized management. In other words, they are in control. Decentralized ID, you are in control. With those companies, there's cross-device synchronization. In other words, you can just log into anything using another company's, you know, your Apple account can log you into Zoom, etc. So now with decentralized ID, there's cross-platform compatibility, which is different, which means it's compatible, but it doesn't mean you're selling your data. Then you've got an autofill function, user autonomy, which is something that's important. I'm just looking at all the messages. There's privacy leakage is a big thing when you come to some of these large corporations. How many times have you heard of, oh, the data's been hacked and we've lost all the customers' information? Don't worry, it's not a problem. Well, actually, you should worry. It is a problem. But with decentralized ID, there's high privacy and security. So guess what? Next time you want to tap into the finance industry, medical, information,
me in the
any of those, you can use your decentralized ID.
She's trying to find me.
So your avatar, the 5 avatars that are available to you, which come with all sorts of different benefits, are anywhere from 100 to 500 to 1,000, 5,000 and 10,000. Those are the different avatars that are available. You do have benefits, which I'll cover in the next few slides. So the first one, the 100, is leveraged 5 times, and you're only limited to 2. You can never buy more than 2. So once you bought your 2, that's it, and you'd have to then move up to the 500. The 500 and the 1,000 is leveraged at 3.5 times. The maximum number of avatars you can hold in an account is 10. The 5,000 and the 10,000, you can only buy 1 per day. And again, with the 5,000 and the 10,000, the company has a global limit of how many they can sell. Once that limit has been reached, then they stop selling that day. This is to prevent something far more important. So let me just explain the other thing. As a bonus, the company gives you a 50% bonus on your energy output. So your energy output is anywhere between 0.5 and 2% per day. It can fluctuate every single day, and believe me, it does. You log into your account, go to the avatar section, you can see the graph that shows you the fluctuations. So you can never tell anybody what they're going to receive each day.
Oh, goody. She let me back in again. That's good.
So the second part is, let's say you now join and you purchased your, let's stick with a 100 avatar. You will receive 5% of your inviters' energy output per day. So if they receive 100, you'll receive 5. But you'll also get the next level up. So you'll get 5% from your upline and 5% from their upline. And this is without introducing anybody or doing anything. If you do introduce someone, then at the first level, you receive 50%. Second generation is 30%, and the third generation is 20%. This is a tried and tested model. There is, and this is probably going to sound weird, there is no commission in this. What the figures you're seeing here is you purchase a 100 avatar, your output is 500. You won't get 510 or 520 or 550. What you'll receive is 500. These figures will get you to your 500 faster. So basically, it's a speed equation. As you grow your community, you get to your goal faster. You can also build a community and reach different levels within the company. There's level 1, which is M1. You've got 3 direct affiliates, 20,000 in volume outside of your strongest leg. So if you've got 20,000 in one leg and 21,000 in the other, then the 20,000 count, the 21,000 doesn't. You need to have had 2 avatars at 100, and your energy sharing output, you will get 10% across the whole network. Here's where it gets interesting. Your daily output that you receive every single day, around about between 9 and 9:30 in the evening in the UK, Martian, and this is where it's more of a mining program than it is anything else. Because MM, which is your Martian material, you receive 50%.
And asked it who Pinakee Naik is from Hyperverse.
You will then have an exchange rate where you'll be able to convert it
is pretty good.
Into
and now I'm just flooding
USDT, and there'll be other coins available at some point. Then you've got MC, which is the Martian capsule. This is where you'll be able to exchange them for goods, services, cosmetic surgery, all sorts of things that you would like to buy.
See, I'm flooding this.
Why is that even important? Well, firstly, in the 50%,
the
exchange rate, the difference could be anywhere between 6% to 14% or 13% we've seen. That portion is what the company receives. The Martian capsule bit, which is the shopping side of it,
she's kicking people
the company receives the difference. So let's say we've got 1 million members and each one has a 100 avatar. That would then equate to about 100 million sitting in the Martian capsule section.
Martian capsule.
That means that when
really
we go to companies and say, would you like to tap into our community? And they would say, yes. How much is sitting in the pot at the moment? And they'd say 100 million. Any company would definitely want to tap into that. So that would then mean that the difference, the company could negotiate the difference on that. So if it's, say, 20%, then that 20% the company would make. Now, the interesting bit in the middle is the UME. Now, the UME you can convert.
We've only got 33 people in this meeting, for God's sake.
That coin is due to go live, or first phase is due to be distributed on the 23rd of September. So MM you can convert, you can buy avatars with it, you can exchange to USDT, you can send and receive to other.
What a load. Is this one?
Is it? Change it into UME if you want to.
Really?
So here's where it gets interesting. MCD has a token distribution of only 2.1 million tokens.
So check out the chat room.
So 2.1 million tokens, 10% is going to the company.
She's now
that leaves
going
90%
and deleting every one of those.
The first
posts.
phase, which ends on the 23rd of September, will distribute 420,000 MCD. The next phase is 90 days later, and so on, until we've finished the 9-month period.
Should we read one of these?
Here's what happens. In the first phase, like everything, early adopters gain the most.
Here we go.
So let's just assume that we have 1 million UME in the system and 420,000 tokens is what's going to be distributed. 420,000 divided by 1 million equals 0.42. So if you're holding UME in your account, then each UME could be converted into 0.42 MCD. Now, obviously, if there's more than 1 million, that figure changes. This is why this is ever changing. So if you've got 20 UME tokens, you're going to receive 8.4 MCD the first batch. Now, the second batch, let's say there's a big increase in growth, and there's now 10 million members. 630,000, which is the next phase, divided by 10 million, gives you a figure of 0.063. So the 20 UME that you swapped in the first phase for 8.4 could probably only give you 1.26 MCD in the second phase. That would equate to about 15.87 USDT. Obviously, that could change up and down because it depends on number of people, depends on how many UME. This is not a let's set in stone figure. That will basically change as the community moves. So that we're in this first phase. So if you've already joined, then great, you're already in the first phase. The earlier you generate UME, the more MC you obtain. Like when Bitcoin launched, people who got in got the most. They're probably all laughing.
Oh, yeah. It's great parallel.
What's the next step? Well, obviously, the next step is to drive value in the token.
Okay. And you need help?
As the community grows,
Yeah.
and don't forget, only one account per user.
Ooh, that's going to limit it down.
500,000 users with only 100 USDT would equate to $50 million US. And if that was paired with MCD, that would be a liquidity pool of $100 million, which is huge. There isn't one out there for that big. We're also going to tap into the secondary market where key influencers are going to get behind MCD and start talking about it. We're hoping to launch on 30 to 50 major exchanges. As the community grows and more companies like Utopia come along,
no problem.
Then Mars Chain and Mars Protocol, where we facilitate new companies who are coming to market, want to tap into Web3. So there will be IDOs available. There'll be trading pairs. MCD will be used for gas fees, which equates to companies needing MCD, which means price surge is the next step. So the question is, once you've got your MCD, will you sell it or will you hang on to it?
Yeah, it's just
these are just the things that you can actually spend your MC tokens in. Don't forget the 20% will be used in all sorts of retail therapy, I can call it, cosmetic surgery, travel, real estate, jewelry, luxury goods, all sorts of brands across a huge sector. So Mars Protocol consists of Mars Lab, Mars Venture, decentralized finance.
Is this like a clone lending, of
GameFi, MediaFi? The market is just huge. So far, we've only tapped into.
Well, let's start ringing up people, shall we?
Probably 3 of these.
Should we ring up Pinakee Naik?
Tapping into maybe the 4th soon.
I think it'd be rude not to ring up Pinakee, wouldn't it? Oh, dearie me. She's getting clever. We'll go back to this one for a wee bit. What are we doing there, Danny? We will go to here. Stop screen.